America, a nation built on dreams, a beacon of hope for so many. We've always been a nation in motion, constantly evolving, always striving for a more perfect union. Today, we find ourselves at a crossroads. Our nation is grappling with complex challenges and exciting opportunities. From the halls of power to our everyday lives, change is in the air. This is a time of great debate about our values, our identity, and our future. The decisions we make today will shape the course of our nation for generations to come. It's a time for reflection, for action, for each of us to ask ourselves, what kind of America do we want to build together? We are a nation of immigrants, a tapestry woven from countless threads. Our diversity is our strength, our differences a source of innovation and creativity. Yet we also face divisions, a polarization of perspectives that can seem daunting. But within these challenges lie incredible opportunities. We stand at a crossroads in how we govern ourselves. New technologies and evolving demographics are reshaping our political landscape. The rise of social media has given voice to a wider range of perspectives, while also presenting challenges to civil discourse and truth. It's more important than ever to engage in respectful dialogue, to listen to each other, and to seek common ground. The decisions made by our leaders have a profound impact on our lives. From healthcare to education, from climate change to economic opportunity, the policies enacted today will shape the future we build together. Now is the time to hold our elected officials accountable, to demand transparency and integrity, and to ensure that government works for all Americans. We are also at a crossroads in our relationship with the world. As a global superpower, our actions have far-reaching consequences. We have a responsibility to lead with wisdom and compassion, to promote peace and understanding, and to work collaboratively to address global challenges. Despite the challenges we face, there is reason for hope. Throughout our history, Americans have always risen to the occasion. We've overcome adversity, fought for justice, and strived to create a more perfect union. And in this moment of crossroads, we must draw upon that same spirit of resilience, innovation, and hope. This is not a journey for the faint of heart. It demands courage, compassion, and a willingness to engage in difficult conversations. But it is in these moments of challenge that we discover our greatest strengths, our shared sense of purpose, and our unwavering belief in the promise of America. America's government, a bold experiment in self-governance. It was designed to be of the people, by the people, for the people. A system of checks and balances, ensuring no one person or branch holds all the power. But like any machine, it needs care, attention, and active participation to function properly. Today, our system of governance faces new tests. The rise of misinformation and the speed of the news cycle can make it difficult to discern truth from falsehood. We must be critical thinkers, examining information from multiple sources before forming opinions. Civic education is paramount. Understanding how our government works, from local town halls to the highest court, is crucial for informed participation. A healthy democracy thrives on debate and disagreement. It's through the clash of ideas that we refine our values and find solutions. But this discourse must be respectful, rooted in facts, and focused on finding common ground. When voices are silenced or marginalized, our democracy suffers. We, the people, are the lifeblood of this grand experiment. Our voices, our votes, our active engagement. These are the tools that keep our government accountable. By staying informed, participating in elections, and holding our elected officials responsible, we ensure that the machinery of democracy continues to function as intended. Section 2. A shifting landscape. The American landscape is constantly changing. New voices emerge, demographics shift, and technology reshapes our world at an unprecedented pace. These changes bring both challenges and opportunities to our system of governance. The rise of social media has created new avenues for civic engagement. People can connect with elected officials, organize movements, and raise awareness about important issues more easily than ever before. However, this ease of connection also presents challenges. The spread of misinformation can be rapid and damaging, requiring us to be discerning consumers of information. Our nation is becoming increasingly diverse, reflecting a rich tapestry of backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences. This diversity is a source of strength and innovation. It's crucial that our government reflects this diversity, ensuring that all voices are heard and represented. Technology is rapidly transforming our economy and our lives. From artificial intelligence to renewable energy, these advancements hold immense potential. Our government must adapt to these changes, fostering innovation while also addressing potential disruptions and ensuring that all Americans benefit from technological progress. Section 3. Participation and Progress. The story of America is a story of progress. It's a testament to the power of ordinary citizens, raising their voices and demanding a better future. From the fight for civil rights to the movement for women's suffrage, our history is filled with examples of individuals who dared to challenge the status quo and make their voices heard. Today, that spirit of participation is more important than ever. Our democracy thrives on the active engagement of its citizens. Whether it's volunteering in our communities, contacting our representatives, or simply engaging in respectful dialogue with those who hold different views, every action counts. The challenges we face, from climate change to economic inequality, are complex and interconnected. Addressing them requires collaboration, innovation, and a willingness to listen to different perspectives. It requires a belief that we are all in this together, and that by working together, we can create a better future for all. Progress is rarely linear. It's often messy and incremental. There will be setbacks and disagreements along the way. But by embracing the spirit of our democracy, a government of, by, and for the people, we can navigate these challenges and continue the journey towards a more perfect union. Section 4. Navigating Differences. America has always been a nation of diverse perspectives and opinions. It's this very diversity that has made us strong, fostering innovation and creativity. However, in recent years, our differences have become increasingly polarized, often fueled by misinformation and a lack of civil discourse. Navigating these differences requires a commitment to respectful dialogue and a willingness to listen to perspectives different from our own. It requires recognizing that we all share a common ground as Americans, even if we disagree on specific issues. One way to bridge this divide is through open and honest conversations. Instead of retreating to our echo chambers, where our own beliefs are constantly reinforced, we need to engage with those who hold different views. This doesn't mean abandoning our values or principles, but rather approaching these conversations with a spirit of curiosity and a desire to understand. Finding common ground doesn't mean ignoring our differences. It's about identifying shared goals and values that can serve as a foundation for collaboration. For example, while we may disagree on specific policies to address climate change, we can all agree on the importance of protecting our environment for future generations. Section 5. The Power of One Voice. In a democracy as vast and complex as ours, it's easy to feel like our individual voices don't matter. We might be tempted to think that our vote doesn't count, or that our actions won't make a difference. But this couldn't be further from the truth. History teaches us that change often starts with a single voice, a single act of courage, a single person refusing to be silent. Throughout our nation's history, ordinary citizens have achieved extraordinary things by raising their voices and demanding change. From the civil rights movement to the fight for marriage equality, progress has often been driven by grassroots movements, fueled by the passion and commitment of individuals who refuse to accept the status quo. Every voice matters. Every vote counts. Every act of engagement, no matter how small, contributes to the collective tapestry of our democracy. By speaking out against injustice, advocating for policies we believe in, and holding our elected officials accountable, we can shape the future of our nation. Never underestimate the power of one voice to inspire change. When we raise our voices together, in unison, we become a force that cannot be ignored. We become the authors of our own destiny, charting a course towards a more just, equitable, and prosperous future for all. America, a nation built on dreams, a beacon of hope for those seeking a better life. We are a nation of immigrants, our history woven together by threads from every corner of the globe. From the very beginning, immigrants have shaped our national identity, enriching our culture, fueling our economy, and contributing to the fabric of our society. Our ancestors came to these shores seeking religious freedom, fleeing persecution, escaping poverty, yearning for opportunity. They arrived with little more than the clothes on their backs and a burning desire for a better tomorrow. They built lives for themselves and their families brick by brick, generation by generation. Their stories are our stories. Stories of resilience, determination, and the unwavering belief in the American dream. The idea that no matter where you come from, with hard work and dedication, you can achieve a better life for yourself and your children. It's a story that continues to unfold today, written by the millions of immigrants who still see America as a land of hope and opportunity. But the narrative of immigration is not without its complexities. It's a story of both welcome and resistance, of inclusion and exclusion, of ongoing debates about who we are as a nation and what values we hold dear. The face of America is ever-changing. Wave after wave of immigrants has shaped our nation, each bringing their own unique cultures, languages, and traditions. This constant influx of new perspectives and experiences has been a source of strength and vitality, making America a melting pot of ideas and innovation. Today, the face of immigration is more diverse than ever before. We are no longer defined solely by the waves of European immigrants that once dominated our shores. Instead, we are a nation enriched by immigrants from Latin America, Asia, Africa, and beyond. Each group brings their own unique stories, struggles, and triumphs, adding to the rich tapestry of American life. This changing demographic landscape presents both opportunities and challenges. It challenges us to confront our own biases, to embrace our shared humanity, and to build a society that values and respects the contributions of all its members. It requires us to create a more inclusive and equitable society, one where everyone has the opportunity to succeed, regardless of their background or country of origin. It calls for empathy, understanding, and a willingness to see ourselves reflected in the eyes of those who may look or speak differently than us. Section 3. Walls and Bridges. The debate over immigration is often framed in terms of walls and bridges, walls that divide us, separating families and severing ties to homelands, and bridges that connect us, fostering understanding, and creating a more inclusive and prosperous future. Recent years have seen a rise in divisive rhetoric and restrictive policies aimed at limiting immigration. These policies, often driven by fear and misinformation, have real-world consequences for millions of people. Families are being torn apart, asylum seekers are being turned away, and the contributions of immigrants are being undervalued and dismissed. But amid these challenges, there are also stories of hope and resilience. Communities across the country are coming together to welcome immigrants, to provide legal aid and support, and to advocate for more humane and just immigration policies. These individuals and organizations are building bridges of understanding, recognizing that our shared humanity transcends borders and that we are all better off when we embrace our diversity. The choice before us is clear. We can continue down a path of division and exclusion, building walls that separate us and diminish our shared humanity. Or we can choose a different path, a path of empathy and compassion, building bridges that connect us and create a more just and welcoming world for all. Section 4. The human cost of policy. Behind the headlines and political debates, there are real people whose lives are profoundly affected by immigration policies. Families are separated, dreams are deferred, and the human cost of these policies is often immeasurable. Imagine the anguish of parents separated from their children, the uncertainty of not knowing when or if they will ever be reunited. Consider the plight of asylum seekers, fleeing violence and persecution, only to be turned away at the border, denied the opportunity to plead their case for safety and refuge. The stories of these individuals and families are often heartbreaking. They are stories of loss, separation, and the struggle to maintain hope in the face of adversity. They remind us that behind every policy decision, there are real human lives at stake. It is easy to become desensitized to these stories, to view them as abstract problems, rather than the lived experiences of real people. But we must resist this temptation. We must remember that behind every statistic, every headline, there is a human face, a story that deserves to be heard, a life that deserves our compassion. Section 5. Toward a more welcoming shore. The challenges posed by immigration are complex and multifaceted. There are legitimate concerns about border security, economic impact, and the need to maintain a fair and orderly immigration system. But these concerns should never overshadow our fundamental values of compassion, fairness, and the recognition that we are a nation built by immigrants. We must strive to create an immigration system that reflects these values, a system that is both humane and just, a system that secures our borders while also providing a pathway to citizenship for those who come here seeking a better life, a system that upholds the rule of law while also recognizing the inherent dignity and worth of every human being. This is not a partisan issue, but rather a human one. It's about who we are as a nation and what we stand for. Let us choose to be a nation that welcomes the stranger, that offers refuge to the persecuted, and that sees in every immigrant the potential to contribute to the ongoing story of America. Let us build a nation where every individual, regardless of where they were born, has the opportunity to reach for their dreams and contribute to the rich tapestry of American life. Let us be a beacon of hope, a shining city on a hill, a testament to the enduring power of the American dream. Our world, a tapestry of cultures, beliefs, and dreams. A global community interconnected as never before. What happens on one side of the world ripples out, touching every corner of the globe. America, a nation built on the idea of liberty, has always played a unique role on this global stage. From the very beginning, our destiny has been intertwined with the fate of other nations. From the battlefields of Europe to the shores of Asia, we have learned that our security and prosperity are inextricably linked to the well-being of others. Today, in a world facing unprecedented challenges, America's role in foreign relations is more critical than ever. The rise of new powers, the threat of climate change, the spread of global terrorism. These are challenges that no nation can solve alone. This is a time for cooperation, for diplomacy, for building bridges of understanding across cultures and continents. It's a time for America to lead, not through dominance, but through partnership, working collaboratively with other nations to address our shared challenges and create a more peaceful and prosperous world for all. The world is changing. The old certainties of the past are fading, replaced by a new and complex geopolitical landscape. Alliances are shifting, new power centers are emerging, and the nature of conflict itself is evolving. In this fluid environment, America's foreign policy must be guided by wisdom, pragmatism, and a commitment to our core values. We must be clear-eyed about the challenges we face, recognizing that there are no easy answers or quick fixes. The days of simplistic solutions and unilateral action are over. Today's world demands nuanced diplomacy, a willingness to engage with both allies and adversaries, and a recognition that our strength lies in our ability to build coalitions and work collaboratively with others. This requires a renewed commitment to diplomacy, to investing in the institutions and relationships that foster dialogue and cooperation. It means engaging with the world not through the lens of zero-sum competition, but through a spirit of partnership, recognizing that our shared challenges can only be solved through collective action. We must be prepared to stand up for our values, to defend our interests, and to support our allies. But we must also be willing to listen, to learn, and to seek common ground, recognizing that even in the face of disagreement, there is always room for diplomacy and dialogue. The challenges facing our world are complex and interconnected. Climate change, pandemics, terrorism, economic inequality, these are not just abstract concepts, but real threats that know no borders and affect us all. Addressing these challenges requires a global response, a collective effort that transcends national boundaries and unites us in a common purpose. America has a unique responsibility and opportunity to lead in this effort. As a global leader in science, technology, and innovation, we have the resources and the expertise to make a real difference. But true leadership is not about imposing our will on others, but about inspiring and empowering others to act. We must work collaboratively with other nations to develop sustainable solutions to climate change, to strengthen global health security, to combat terrorism and extremism, and to create a more just and equitable global economy. This requires a renewed commitment to multilateralism, to working through international institutions like the United Nations and the World Health Organization to address these shared challenges. It also requires a willingness to invest in diplomacy and development, to address the root causes of conflict and instability. This means supporting education, healthcare, and economic opportunity in developing countries, fostering good governance and the rule of law, and promoting respect for human rights and democracy. Section 4. The price of peace. Peace. It's more than just the absence of war. It's the presence of justice. It's the assurance of human dignity. It's a commitment to resolving conflict through dialogue, not destruction. Throughout our history, America has learned that true peace requires more than military might. It demands unwavering diplomacy, strategic partnerships, and a commitment to understanding the root causes of conflict. We must never forget the human cost of conflict. The families torn apart, the lives lost, the futures shattered. These are the enduring legacies of war. It is our solemn duty to do everything in our power to prevent future generations from experiencing the horrors of armed conflict. This requires us to invest in diplomacy and development to address the underlying conditions that breed conflict: poverty, inequality, lack of opportunity, and the denial of basic human rights. It means working with our partners around the world to build more just and inclusive societies, where differences are resolved through dialogue and compromise, not violence. we must also be willing to confront those who threaten peace, both at home and abroad. This requires a strong national defense, capable of deterring aggression and protecting our interests. But it also demands a commitment to working within the international community to uphold the rule of law and to hold accountable those who violate international norms. Section 5. America's Role: Leading with Hope. In a world often defined by division and uncertainty, America must be a beacon of hope. We must lead not through coercion or dominance, but through the power of our example, the strength of our values, and our unwavering belief in the possibility of a better tomorrow. We must be a champion for democracy and human rights, standing up for those who are denied their fundamental freedoms and speaking out against injustice wherever it exists. We must be a leader in the fight against climate change, working with other nations to develop sustainable solutions that protect our planet for future generations. And we must continue to be a nation that welcomes the stranger, that offers refuge to the persecuted, and that sees in every individual the potential to contribute to the common good. This is the essence of the American spirit, a belief in the inherent dignity and worth of every human being, regardless of their race, religion, gender, or national origin. Let us embrace this spirit, not just in words, but in deeds. Let us be a force for good in the world, a nation that leads with hope, that inspires others to action, and that works tirelessly to build a more peaceful, just, and prosperous future for all. Section 1. Stories of Resilience. America. A nation forged in the fires of adversity, a people tempered by challenge, strengthened by struggle. Throughout our history, we have faced moments of profound uncertainty, times when our resolve was tested, our spirit challenged. And yet, time and again, we have emerged from these trials stronger, more united, our belief in the promise of America undimmed. From the ashes of the Great Depression to the battlefields of foreign wars, from natural disasters to economic downturns, we have always found the strength to persevere. These experiences have taught us the true meaning of resilience, the ability to bend without breaking, to adapt to changing circumstances, to rise above adversity and emerge stronger on the other side. It is in these moments of challenge that the American spirit shines brightest. We see it in the first responders who rush into danger when others are fleeing, in the volunteers who dedicate their time and resources to helping those in need, in the ordinary citizens who perform extraordinary acts of courage and compassion. These stories of resilience remind us that we are not defined by the challenges we face, but by how we respond to them. They inspire us to tap into our own inner strength, to believe in our ability to overcome adversity, and to never give up hope, even in the darkest of times. Section 2. Triumph over adversity. The human spirit is an indomitable force. It is the wellspring of our resilience, the source of our strength in the face of adversity. Throughout our nation's history, we have witnessed countless examples of individuals and communities overcoming seemingly insurmountable obstacles, their stories a testament to the power of the human spirit to triumph over adversity. Consider the stories of immigrants who fled war and persecution, arriving on our shores with nothing but the clothes on their backs and a dream for a better life. Despite facing language barriers, cultural differences, and often overt discrimination, they persevered, building new lives for themselves and their families, their contributions enriching the fabric of our nation. Think of the individuals who have overcome physical disabilities, proving that limitations are self-imposed, and that with determination and perseverance, anything is possible. They inspire us to challenge our own perceptions of what is possible, and to never give up on our dreams, no matter how difficult the path may seem. These stories of triumph remind us that within each of us lies an untapped reservoir of strength and resilience. They teach us that adversity, while difficult, can also be a catalyst for growth, forcing us to dig deep, to discover hidden reserves of strength, and to emerge from the experience transformed. Section 3. The power of community. We are social creatures, hardwired for connection, belonging, and community. It is in our nature to come together in times of need, to offer support, to share burdens, and to celebrate triumphs. Throughout our history, it has been the strength of our communities that has seen us through our darkest hours and propelled us forward on the path of progress. Whether it's neighbors helping neighbors after a natural disaster, volunteers providing food and shelter to the homeless, or communities rallying around families facing unexpected hardship, it is in these acts of collective compassion that we truly see the power of community in action. When we come together, we are stronger than the sum of our parts. We draw strength from one another, sharing resources, offering encouragement, and reminding each other that we are not alone in our struggles. It is through these acts of collective action that we build social capital, strengthen the bonds of community, and create a safety net for those who are most vulnerable. In an increasingly interconnected world, where challenges often seem overwhelming, it is more important than ever to nurture and strengthen our communities. It is through these connections, these bonds of shared humanity, that we will find the strength to overcome adversity, to build a more just and equitable society, and to create a better future for all. Section 4. Innovation and Inspiration. Necessity, they say, is the mother of invention. And throughout our history, Americans have always been a resourceful and inventive people, rising to meet challenges with ingenuity, creativity, and a determination to find solutions. From the Wright brothers' first flight at Kitty Hawk, to the development of the internet, from the polio vaccine to the Mars rover, American innovation has transformed our world for the better. But innovation is not just about technological advancements. It's also about finding new and creative ways to address social problems, to promote equality, and to create a more just and equitable society. It's about challenging the status quo, questioning assumptions, and refusing to accept that things can't be done differently. We see this spirit of innovation alive and well today in the countless individuals and organizations working to find solutions to some of the most pressing challenges of our time, from climate change and poverty to healthcare and education. They are developing new technologies, creating innovative programs, and advocating for policies that promote opportunity and empower communities. These innovators and change-makers inspire us to think differently, to challenge conventional wisdom, and to believe that even seemingly intractable problems can be solved if we bring our collective ingenuity and determination to bear. They remind us that progress is possible, that the future is not predetermined, and that we have the power to shape our own destiny. Section 5. Sowing Seeds of Hope. Hope. It's the belief in a brighter tomorrow, the conviction that even in the face of adversity, a better future is possible. It's the fuel that drives us forward, the light that guides us through dark times. And in a world often characterized by cynicism and despair, it is more important than ever to cultivate hope, to nurture it, and to share it with others. Hope is not passive. It's not a matter of simply wishing for a better future. It's about actively working to create that future, about taking action, however small, to make a difference. It's about believing in our own ability to effect change and inspiring others to do the same. We see hope in the eyes of young people who are passionate about making a difference in the world, in the tireless efforts of activists and organizers fighting for social justice, in the generosity of those who dedicate their lives to helping others. These individuals and countless others like them are sowing seeds of hope, nurturing the belief that a better world is possible. It is our responsibility to tend to these seeds, to water them with our actions, and to create the conditions where hope can flourish. Let us be beacons of hope, radiating positivity, inspiring action, and reminding ourselves and others that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit has an inexhaustible capacity for resilience, innovation, and love. Let us build a future worthy of our highest aspirations, a future where hope is not a distant dream, but a living reality. Section 1. Shaping Tomorrow Today. The future. It's not a destination, it's a journey. A path we forge with each step we take, each choice we make. We stand at a pivotal moment in our nation's journey, a time of both great challenge and profound opportunity. The decisions we make today will shape the course of our nation, not just for ourselves, but for generations to come. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the challenges we face, to feel powerless in the face of complex global issues. But the truth is, each of us has a role to play in shaping the future. We are not passive observers in this journey. We are active participants, and our actions, no matter how small they may seem, have the power to make a difference. The future is not preordained. It's not a fixed destination that we are powerless to change. It's a tapestry woven together by the actions of billions of individuals, each thread representing a choice, a decision, an act of courage or compassion. And every one of us has the power to choose what kind of thread we will contribute to this tapestry. We have the power to choose hope over despair, action over apathy, unity over division. We have the power to choose a future where every individual has the opportunity to reach their full potential, where our differences are celebrated, and where we work together to create a more just and sustainable world for all. Section 2. The Power of Participation. Democracy. It's more than just a form of government. It's a way of life. It's a belief in the power of the people to shape their own destiny. It's a commitment to active citizenship, to engaging in the public square, to holding our leaders accountable, and to working together to solve our shared challenges. Our democracy is not a spectator sport. It requires active participation from all of us. It demands that we stay informed about the issues that affect our communities and our nation, that we engage in respectful dialogue with those who hold different views, and that we make our voices heard through voting, advocacy, and community involvement. Every vote counts. Every voice matters. Every act of engagement, no matter how small, contributes to the collective strength of our democracy. When we participate, we breathe life into the ideals upon which our nation was founded. Ideals of liberty, equality, justice, and opportunity for all. But participation is not just about voting in elections. It's about engaging in our communities, volunteering our time and talents, and supporting organizations that are working to make a difference. It's about being informed consumers, making conscious choices about the products we buy and the companies we support. The challenges we face are real. Climate change, economic inequality, racial injustice, political polarization. These are not abstract concepts. They are lived realities that affect millions of Americans every day. But these challenges are not insurmountable. We have overcome adversity before, and we can do it again. But it will require action. It will require each of us to step up and do our part. This is not a call to grand gestures or heroic feats. It's a call to everyday acts of courage, compassion, and engagement. It's a call to speak up. When you see injustice, don't stay silent. Use your voice to advocate for what's right. Get involved. Volunteer your time. Donate to causes you believe in. Support organizations working for positive change. Educate yourself. Stay informed about the issues. Challenge your own biases, and be willing to listen to different perspectives. Vote. Exercise your right to vote in every election, from local school board races to national elections. These may seem like small acts, but multiplied millions of times over, they have the power to transform our communities and our nation. In an increasingly polarized world, it's easy to focus on what divides us. We retreat to our echo chambers, surrounded by those who share our views, and we demonize those who see the world differently. But this path leads only to division, anger, and ultimately, to inaction. If we are to build a better future, we must find a way to bridge these divides. We must rediscover our shared humanity, to recognize that despite our differences in background, belief, or political persuasion, we are all connected. We are all part of something larger than ourselves. This doesn't mean abandoning our values or beliefs. It does mean approaching those who disagree with us with respect, listening to their perspectives, and seeking common ground. It means recognizing that we all want the same basic things: a good education for our children, a safe and healthy community, a fair shot at opportunity. When we focus on what unites us, we open up possibilities for collaboration, for finding solutions that work for everyone. We create a space where empathy and compassion can flourish, where we can begin to heal the divisions that have plagued our nation for far too long. The future is not something that just happens to us. It's something we create. We create it with every choice we make, every action we take, every dream we dare to pursue. And while the challenges we face may seem daunting, we must never lose sight of the fact that we have the power to shape our own destiny. This is not a task for any one individual, any one group, or any one generation. It is a collective responsibility, a shared journey that requires the active participation of all of us. We must come together, not as Democrats or Republicans, liberals or conservatives, but as Americans, united by a common purpose and a shared belief in the promise of our nation. Let us move forward with courage, with compassion, with an unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity and to create a better tomorrow. Let us forge a future worthy of our highest aspirations, a future where every individual has the opportunity to thrive, where our differences are celebrated as strengths, and where we live in peace and harmony with each other and with the planet we call home. The future is ours to create. Let us create it together. America's journey has always been one of progress, of striving towards a more perfect union. We stand now at a crossroads, a moment of profound consequence. The choices we make today, as individuals and as a nation, will determine the course of our future. Will we succumb to the forces of division and fear? Or will we rise to meet this moment with courage, compassion, and an unwavering belief in the promise of America? The path forward is clear. We must choose hope over despair, unity over division, action over apathy. We must embrace our shared humanity, recognizing that despite our differences, we are all Americans, bound together by a common destiny. Let us move forward with courage, with determination, with an unwavering belief in the power of we the people to shape our own destiny. The future is ours to create. Let us create it together.